DMD was back in the action. This is, first time since she has gotten gold around her waist, pairing with Rebel. Yep, right there. And Nyla Rose and Vicky. And, Vicky said she had surprises for her. And, there was, I was surprised how much Vicky did get in the ring. So props to her.
Yeah.
And I loved it, man. The crowd definitely was hot for DMD, and especially what happened at the end of this match. It is clearly pitting a strong heel versus a babyface. You don't do something like powerbomb someone through the table, the champion with gold around their waist, through a table after a match if you want them to be a heel. I'm sorry. They're quickly following the hearts and the sounds of the fans, which we all love, the DMD.
I regret pushing Britt this hard now. Y'all got on board, and now they're making her a baby face. Why? Can I rewind the clock and just say that I was on Team Thunder the whole time? Because I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I don't. I don't know, man. The Nyla feud is not hitting. I want to plead the fifth. It's not hitting for me. This Nyla feud is not hitting for me right now. I don't want to say anything incriminating because I love the DMD and I don't want to besmirch her name at all. But this is not how I envisioned or would have hoped for the DMD era to begin. I don't know, man. I with Britt locking in the lockjaw on a Vicky Guerrero, I get it. Like, that's kind of a babyface move. Like you talked about going into this week, getting the excuse me.
You wanted to shut up the biggest mouth in the whole
it.
company. Finally, she gets it. And so that's like, okay, the fans are happy and behind you. And then all of a sudden you have this mean, angry, the native beast, the gatekeeper, as you coined her, which I absolutely love that. Put that on a t-shirt, Nyla Rose. You are the gatekeeper of the women's division. Boom. And then power bombs are, not just a power bomb, a massive power bomb
through a table.
It wasn't one where she absorbed it. She just threw her ass through that table, man. And it was brutal.
I agree. And again, you're preaching, again, I said it. Nyla is the gatekeeper. If you can beat her, she's kind of the benchmark. If you can get past her, you're legit. And I get why AEW wants to toy with this idea.
Sure.
Legitimizing their champion, giving Britt a win over Nyla long term really allows her to look strong as a champ, and putting down the native beast is really the ultimate that you can get in AEW, as far as them putting the stamp on you and recognizing that you can go. I get all that. And I also get how she sells merch and she's a great face for the company. I've been saying all this stuff from the beginning, right? I think that she's the most bankable star in the company. I think, I've been rattling it off. But I think that this is I saw it. I saw the crowd. They were chanting DMD, but I saw there was some conflict, and there were some moments where people didn't know how to feel during this match, and
tugging on the emotions.
That's how I feel like sitting at home, because it's like, I love the DMD. I think that she's legitimately the breakout star of AEW as a company, and that's even when we're talking about later on tonight, we get to see MJF and Sammy. Britt Baker has done that, but I just worry that this feud with Nyla is taking away some of that edge that Britt had, and that's what made her, right? I know that Britt's capable of being a likable, compelling babyface, right? Of course. We early in her career, that's who she was. I just think that when, again, the Nyla feud, you're rushing. There was no segue from Britt to being the person who was pouring a bottle of water in Thunder Rosa's face, and
wiping it off,
and smearing her, rubbing her face in the mud, basically, and doing these awful things, against Sheeta. How did she win the title?
Right.
Rebel cheating with the crutch and all these things. There was no natural transition of Britt being this really detestable heel, big picture, who was popular because she could cut some killer promos and everything, to being this sympathetic baby face. And quite frankly, I don't think that the work has been done with Nyla of recent either. I think that obviously Nyla has that reputation long term. She's from the get-go. She's been a stalwart of the women's division.
Yeah.
But of late, I don't know. I mean, I just think that we rushed into something that I think that they want to toy with, and they want to see how Britt fans react to Britt being a babyface, especially with them going on the road.
Oh, it's gonna go. It's gonna pop for sure. Especially how they're promoting Britsburg in a month. Of the new show.
I know. If this is just, I don't want to. For me, this feud is not hitting. And I really want to see Thunder Rosa back on the scene. It's making me miss Thunder that much more. And I know that Britt can carry a feud with anybody. I believe that. I saw her in a feud with Big Swole that Britt couldn't even fight. She was in a wheelchair, and it was still fun to watch every week on TV. So I'm not betting against the DMD. When I look at how this is hitting, I really am worried about where this is going to go. I feel like AEW needs to kind of be careful with rushing the Britt Baker face push. That's all I'm going to say.
No, you're right. I'm going to say. You're right, man. I agree. And I think once they do go on the road, it's going to be a pop after pop after pop. And especially in Pittsburgh, unless she pulls like an go-go where she just cuts down her city, which I know she's got a lot of pride in her city. So I don't know if she would do that.
She won't do that.
But I think it could really reestablish her heel, her fandom of being a heel if she has some awesome killer. Maybe she'll main event Rampage, which that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Versus, I don't think you can do Thunder this quick because Thunder's kind of been off Dynamite, but maybe she'll main event Rampage against Statlander or something.
Again, but that's my thing, right? Is I just you look at all right, Nyla is a definite. I mean, Nyla is a heel, right? But she's popular on social media. She's kind of she's a very progressive person as far as changing the mold as for women's wrestling. She's somebody who they could promote as a babyface in some ways. I know they tried to do that early on in AEW and it wasn't hitting with fans.
Right.
But I look at the landscape of AEW and I wonder all right, I talked about this. I look at it and I'm like, the competitive, the challengers for Britt, I don't see the heels knocking on the door anytime soon, folks. I
agree.
I'm like, Ty Conti's right there, right? Sheeta needs to be challenging for a rematch. There's just more. To me, there's more opportunity with Britt as that heel champ and at letting her be herself, letting her rub it in everybody's face. Let her be.
Yeah, I want her to rub it in.
Let her gloat. Let her. I mean, we've wanted this for so long. Let her gloat. Let her brag. Let her talk that shit. Right? I don't want her to lose that edge. That's all. And I have confidence that Britt's gonna always maintain that swagger. She is who she is. It's just the way this feud is going. It's just kind of not. I don't know, man. So far, it's not clicking quite like that TR versus Britt dynamic. I'm just hoping that it can get there.
That's a tough one to match, though. I mean, that was the first and only women's main event we've seen, so that was a very, very tough feud to line up.
Yeah, the sooner that we get to Britt kind of doing her thing and moving on to, and I know it's a buzz out there. Ty Conti would be an awesome challenger.
For sure, of course.
I want to see Britt be herself, and I feel like when you put her up against a Nyla Rose, Britt still has that confidence and that swagger and talks trash, but Nyla being that beast that she is, I don't. Britt's not being that overly confident, kind of in your face kind of persona that we're used to seeing, So